Hey guys, so now we have to talk about this whole mussel situation. Now, zebra mussels have been found in those marine moss balls that a lot of people keep in with their betta and whatnot. I kept one with my betta uh, back when I had one temporarily, and I've kept it in this, kept them in this tank, but I don't anymore. Now, these zebra mussels, there's an easier and safer way to get rid of them than bleaching your tank. Don't bleach your tank, that'll screw over everything. Everything will be screwed over. Think about the consequences. Not only do you bleach your tank, but everything in your tank is going to be absorbing that bleach. Your driftwood, you'll have to get rid of that. Uh, all your decorations and substrate, you're going to get rid of that. Your filter's going to be non-existent. You can't use that anymore after you bleach it. And the beneficial bacteria would be killed off, even if you did try and keep the same filter. So it's really just a cycle of unending garbage. But there's, like I was saying, there's an easier and safer and cheaper method than bleaching your tank. Don't add bleach to your tank. Instead, get yourself some copper. Now, it can be something as simple as the copper you find in some aquarium supplies. For example, this plant grow, Nutrifin plant grow. This has a little bit of copper in it. This has killed shellfish in my tank before, and I do use it to kill off snails. Any kind of ramhorn snails that I get in my tank, I use this to kill off. Let's see, this has, let's see, where's the copper? Here's 0.0005%, and that's not a lot. But if you overdose this, which is much safer for your tank, if you overdose this in your tank every week, then that should get rid of the problem. Of course, you can probably get things with higher copper values, but that's safer, right? That'll kill off your zebra mussels because they are sensitive, as most shellfish are. They're sensitive to copper, so you don't gotta go through the whole hassle of bleaching your tank and getting rid of everything inside, and potentially poisoning all your fish. Even if you remove them, there's still going to be that little bit that's left in the tank, and it's going to mess up your water quality forever. And your filter, you're going to have to get rid of. And what happens when you get rid of your filter? Well, you're going to run out of beneficial bacteria. So it means you're going to have to, someone who doesn't keep marine moss balls, you're going to have to borrow what do you call it? Biological media from them. But not everybody has this. Like I was saying, copper. Use copper. For the love of God, for the safety of your fish. See, most people won't even know that the aquarium fertilizer that they have may or may not be shellfish and snail safe. For example, I got this one from Aquarium Co-op here. Tested to be shrimp and snail safe. Now, this one is the one I'll use in my small tank and the other planted tank. This one I basically just use as an exterminator for snails, but it does work on mussels too. Look it up. Don't believe me, look it up. Zebra mussels, copper is used against them all the time, and it's an effective way of killing them and a safer method. Dose that in your tank for a month, and they'll die. Take the mossballs out, dose it in your tank for a month, and do your regular water changes. Do your regular vacuums of the gravel or substrate, or whatever you use. Yeah, sand, gravel, whatever you use. Just saying, much safer, much easier. You don't have to even worry about poisoning your fish. Some fish are sensitive, I should say. Shrimp and snails and some fish are sensitive to this. So for them, I suggest maybe removing them temporarily. Say if you're going to keep shrimp, or if you have shrimp or something, I don't suggest this method, because they will probably die. If you have snails, same. Just put them in like a little side tank. If you have a, most of you should have a little quarantine tank, and check to see if your fish can handle copper. Because I think it's mostly saltwater fish that can't handle too much copper, but shouldn't be worrying about marine mossballs and copper anyway, or saltwater anyway. Just use this. Seriously. Overdose it. I'd say use about twice the amount you should. Because even underdosing this in this tank, this 80 gallon, even like one cap of this gets rid of snails for me. So I know that these mussels, if you use it in your tank, they'll die off. Just make sure that you take the mossballs out of the tank first. Get rid of the mossballs. As for your tank though, just overdose the copper. That'll kill off anything that's left in there. That way you don't gotta worry about killing your fish. A lot of us know in this hobby how precious some of our fish can be. For their safety, for your safety, use copper. This way you don't have to worry about accidentally poisoning all your fish. And you don't have to worry about all the extra time it's going to cost you to bleach your entire tank properly. And then turn around and have to refill it and then empty it again. Keep that up until all the bleach is gone. Like honestly, it's the easiest way. You don't want to have to poison your fish, do you? And I know with these seals, chemicals tend to stay in these seals. That's why we don't use cleaning products inside of our tanks. That's why you don't catch people taking their tank outside, or the quarantine tank, whatever they use, and bleaching it, and scrubbing it, or spraying it with any kind of cleaner. That's why we don't use it. Because it sticks in the seals, and then it stays in the tank. You refill it, you empty it. You refill it, you empty it. And you keep that up, and it still stays in the tank. You don't want cleaners in your tank. I don't want cleaners in your tank. It's bad for your fish. Copper is much safer, and it's a known way to kill zebra mussels. And most fish are perfectly fine with copper. So, do some research on what kind of fish you have and use copper. Like I said before, shrimp and snails are sensitive to it too, but it is also poisonous to mussels and most other kinds of shellfish. So use that method if you can. Always take the safer method. Always. That's the end of this video. I just wanted to let you know, much easier way to do it, much cheaper way to do it, and much safer way to do it. And this way you don't have to remove your fish. You don't have to stress them out. You don't gotta add cleaners to the tank. Just add some copper fertilizer. Seriously, it's Nutrifin Plant Grow. I picked this up a couple of years ago, and I only use it, it's about 25% full. I only use it to exterminate shellfish, or not shellfish, snails at this point. But it is effective because that copper is inside of it. Now it may not look like a lot of copper, but if you overdose with it, it will kill them. It will kill the zebra mussels. So don't worry, there's a safe method. Now I know a bunch of you people out there are gonna go, I don't want to bleach my tank because it doesn't sound safe. A. B. I don't have time. C. It's too much work. And D. It sounds stupid. Like I was saying, copper. It's safe for the environment. Like for our environment, so you can dump it down the drain. No one's gonna care. It's safe for your aquarium. That's why it's an aquarium fertilizer for your planted aquarium. And all that. Just do your regular water changes and all that. Just make sure that you add the fertilizer. Every time you do a water change, overdose with the fertilizer. Like I'd say, for me, I'd do it once every week. You don't have to overdose that much. Just do an extra 50%. Dose to your recommended amount plus an extra 50%. It won't harm your tank, I promise. That's for the I can't speak. Too early, no coffee. That's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys stay safe out there. The Alberta government's not really right in the head. They should have opted for the safer method. Peace.